Hello and welcome to another edition of Legends of the Game. And today we're speaking to a man on a mission to transform the game of soccer, of course, the most beautiful game. And his name is Marshall Gore. He's got a story to tell and a plan to make that story happen. Welcome, boss.
Thanks, Vinny, for having me.
Thank you. So, what is wrong with the Zimbabwean football?
Well, let me start by saying Zimbabwe football needs a lot of remedies. But the most critical ones are fundamentally the development of football infrastructure, the development of grassroots football, the development of football as an economy, and most importantly, accountability and also visionary leadership.
Visionary leadership you're talking about. So it sounds like you've got a plan. Now, tell me something for nothing. Tell me nothing but the truth about your background. What is your background in terms of football?
Thank you very much for asking that question. Well, I'm a football person in and out.
Okay.
I was born in Glenora, and like everyone else, I started playing football in Glenora, in the streets in Glenora. I went to school, to Ruveneko Primary School, and then moved to Nettleton's Primary School, where I played, and I actually became the school captain for 2 years. I got there in grade 6, and I was given the captain's armband.
Okay.
So the headmaster there saw my leadership. I went to Crembon Boys High Secondary School, also played football. I played actually in the under-16, and unfortunately I couldn't play in the first team. We had issues with the first team coach then, but in the under-16 I acquitted myself very well. And I left a good mark at my school. I played as a goalkeeper at school. Ironically, in primary school I played as a midfielder, but at my secondary school I played as a goalkeeper. From then on, I finished school, did my apprentice. I went to join One Commando Bullets Army team, which was residing in Crembon, where I lived.
What was it? Premier League, Division 1?
It was Division 2 then.
Or Division 2. Which year was this?
That was around 1992, 93.
In the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s, yeah. 1992, 3. So I had a brief stint with One Commando as a goalkeeper. I was substitute.
Your position is goalkeeper?
Yeah, bit versatile, but goalkeeper professionally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so played for a while there. Learned a lot from the coach who was there, I think it was Gift Makoni then. Very inspiring, taught me a lot of things, you know. And yeah, it was really very inspiring to have an eye-opening about football. So from then, I moved into administration. I went to Goromonzi, started the Goromonzi Area Zone League, which eventually transformed in Marsh East Division 4.
That was in the 90s also?
It was in the 90s also, yeah. I was involved in starting the Area Zone League, and I also served as an executive member in the Marsh East Division 4. Instrumental in setting up teams, setting up the league infrastructure. And then from then, I left. I went to the UK, played professionally for the first 5 years, and then continued to form our own community team, which was called...
When you say you're in UK professionally, can you expand on that?
Well, I played semi-professional football for Hendon Football Club, and for other semi-professional teams. I had.
So you're getting paid?
Yeah, I was getting paid. Yeah, I trial stint at Leyton Orient, and eventually I played in what is called the Turkish Community League. It's a big league, semi-pro. It's a big league there. So I played there. Actually, I was paid to play football, and actually, the team I was playing for bought me actually a car. My first car in the UK was bought by the football team. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But I'm hearing you dissect your journey, and you're a man who leads from the front. But tell me a quick one. What is your mission now? Since you're a man on a mission, what is your mission?
My mission is to transform Zimbabwean football. How am I going to transform it? I'm going to transform it by bringing the architecture that can bring modernization of Zimbabwean football. Modernization from the state of our football pitches at grassroots level, making sure that we set up a grassroots football development fund, which will help to develop all the teams and all the academies. There are a lot of dedicated people here in Zimbabwe who are running football in all the provinces, even here in Harare, so many academies. But these guys are using their hard-earned cash. Yet there's a war chest in football if we professionalize it and turn it into a business. Okay. So football can fund itself. And I'm here to bring that vision of transformation and modernizing our football. For example, the stadium issues, I know it's being addressed now, but we can do better. We don't only need the National Sports Stadium. We need Baba Fields to be compliant. We need Rufaro to be compliant. We need Rudaka to be compliant. And we also need Chitungwiza to be compliant. We need good stadiums in this country. I've already lined up development partners who will come on board to support, and also finance partners who will support this. I'll be engaging with all the key stakeholders, government included, through the SRC, and also the Football Association themselves in the private sector. We have a plan and a strategy to turn things around.
Yeah, you're talking about the stadiums in need of attention. I hear you on that. But what I want to find out is, as you are here in Zimbabwe, since you were in UK, I don't know if you're still in UK, what is different that you are going to implement? Because you are talking now because you are on a mission to accomplish something, but what that is different that you are going to bring on the table that people are not bringing, that people have not done in terms of what you're articulating now?
Thank you, Vinny. What I'm going to bring is I'm going to bring accountability and transparency in the running of our football. Okay. I'll ensure that the accounts of ZIFA are made available to the public.
Okay.
I'll also ensure that every business of the Football Association is done transparently, from recruitment, administration, and governance. I'm here to bring a robust governance structure which is informed by my learning experience across the global world, and also having the experience of working closely with key people in the English FA and also in the English Premier League. I've learned a lot from those experiences, running football clubs, running major tournaments in the UK, and working collaboratively with other development partners. I have the experience. I've been to 3 World Cups. I've been to 5 Africa Cup of Nations. And I've spoken with organizing committee in all those tournaments. I've amassed a lot of knowledge. I'm ready to serve my country.
Okay. You're a very traveled man. Many World Cups you have attended. But with all that you have said, Boss Marshall Gore, what motivated you now to decide that you want to run for ZIFA?
First of all, I'm a Warriors fan. And over the years, I've been disappointed by how things have gone with our national jewel, our national team.
Okay.
You know, and I feel that if things can be put together, we have enough resources in this country to ensure that our national team flourishes. We have enough resources in this country to ensure that even our PSL, the clubs in the PSL league, flourish. Right now, look at attendance in our leagues. It's very poor. Even our neighboring countries, Namibia and Botswana, I was looking at statistics. In Zambia, they have better attendance than us, even Malawi. I attended the Charity Shield early this year in Malawi, the opening game of the season at Bingu Stadium between Nyasa Bullets and Silver Stars. 35,000 opening game of Charity Shields. All the fans wearing their club replica shirts. You could see that there's a vibrant economy in Malawian football. I need to bring that back here. We need to work with our football clubs, resource them, train our administrators, train our football coach on how to have a very good model of football that can be transferred for years to come. We need to build a very good football model. My motivation to do all this is to download the knowledge that I've amassed during my 25-year stay in Europe.
Okay. You've been in Europe for 25 years?
Yes, I've been in Europe for 25
years. Are you currently
years.
based in UK?
Well, I'm making my transition now. I can't say I'm based in the UK. This is my 5th trip this year in this country. So my relocation is is loading now.
Yeah,
it's almost on the
Is
on
it
the brink.
motivated by the Zifa job?
Well, I'm motivated not only by the Zifa job. I've been in football for the past 25 years. I've supported the national team. I worked with Cape United in 2016 when they won the league as a commercial advisor.
Commercial advisor, okay.
Yeah, as a commercial advisor. Everything that I touched turned. Even boxing, I worked with Charles Manucci at his peak. Everything that I touched turned. And I know if I touch Zimbabwe football, it will turn around.
So you're the man with the Midas touch.
Well, you may want to say that, but I'm patriotic above everything else.
Yeah, you've spoken about the transformation of the game on its own, but in terms of fans, what are you bringing on the table? What should fans expect from Marshall Gore?
Well, as I said earlier on, I'm a Warriors fan myself. We're going to bring fan engagement programs where the fans would be supported to thrive as organizations. Right now, I know there are 2 Warriors fans groups. We'll work to amalgamate them, and they have one voice for the Zimbabwe football fans. And I will also ensure that the fans have a representative in the executive council of ZIFA, that they have at least a fan liaison officer who represents the fans.
It's not there currently?
I don't think there's any currently. So our plan to ensure that it's introduced so that the fans must have a voice. And we need fan engagement programs. Fan engagement programs is where the football clubs are taught how to engage their fans.
Fan engagement programs.
Fan engagement program. Football clubs are taught how to engage their programs. We make our stadiums hospitable and friendly to attract kids and families to come into the stadium. We advertise about our football. We change the face and the brand of our football. Right now, if there's a football game, you hardly know that there's a football game. We'll have to take football to the community where it belongs and invest in marketing the game to its people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Team Zimbabwe UK. What is it about?
Well, Team Zimbabwe UK is a diaspora sporting organization that we formed in 2012 to support the Zimbabwe Olympic team and Paralympic team when they came to the London 2012 Olympics. So it played a good part by raising resources for our Olympic team then. After the Olympics, we then decided that we use it as a formidable organization to support the community cohesion by developing community football teams, which to date we've managed to develop 40 community football teams
in UK.
Yeah, in the UK and including Ireland and Scotland.
Those are Zimbabweans in the diaspora.
Zimbabwean football teams in the diaspora that all come together to play football tournaments.
What benefits do we get from such an initiative as a country?
The benefit we get is national cohesion, bringing people together, getting to know each other, working together, companies coming to sponsor the events, economy being created. When we do our tournaments in the UK, it's huge. It's a huge market economy, and it also, as a community, you cannot develop when you are divided. So you need to bring people together. And what this has also translated into the footballers that you see now that are playing, that are coming back here to play in the national team. They're all part of Team Zimbabwe UK scouting program of diaspora players, bringing them now to come and represent their country. It all started from the indoctrination of nationhood and togetherness was formed through Team Zimbabwe UK. That's the hub that protects the country itself.
No, that's very interesting. It brings me to my point, my next point, which is corporate involvement in our football. There is a straw. Corporate involvement in our football. Here in Zimbabwe currently, I think what makes a difference between us and the South Africans and other countries is what the corporate world plays in terms of advancing our game. You have been in UK for all these years. Do you have any backing in terms of corporate world? Do you have people that you are very much confident that they will back you should you assume the role of ZIFA?
Without a doubt. Team Zimbabwe UK itself has thrived through corporate support. In 2019, we had a tour of a development squad of diaspora players, under 23 players, 25 players and officials traveled from the UK to come on a tour here, on a 10-day tour, and played friendlies across the country. we made that possible by the corporate partners who came on board to support us. So I have the ability to mobilize the corporate world to support football initiatives. This has been demonstrated by the work that I've done with Team Zimbabwe UK. If I'm to unparcel my manifesto, there's a lot. We are going to be bringing in insurance, mandatory insurance for football clubs.
Okay.
And we have partners that we have romped in that will make it affordable. They're coming on board to work with us. Mm-hmm. We have also a lot of sponsors in the UK, diaspora, big diaspora companies.
These are Zimbabweans?
Yeah, big
companies.
Zimbabweans, yeah. Also, in the past, there was a time when I actually secured sponsorship for the salary of the national team coach.
Oh, which one? Which coach?
There was a coach who was supposed to come. Unfortunately, he did not make it, but there was a corporate company because of the personality of the coach.
So what happened to the money?
Well, it wasn't paid because the coach wasn't given the job.
All right. I thought maybe you secured the money.
Yeah, we've got a lot of I'll give you another very good example, actually, in rushing, if I may touch on this point. Recently, I interfaced with CBZ when they come on their diaspora tour. I had a chance to share my vision with their CEO. And
CBZ, the bank?
The bank itself,
Okay.
And after I unpacked my vision, they said, listen, we are interested to support the vision. So even the financial institutions here who come into football, capital thrives where there's peace and security. Once we show the companies that there's peace and security, they will thrive. Look at, now we have only maybe Delta. They're the ones sponsoring, I think, the Premier League. Yeah. So for me, Delta are doing a very good thing. But we need to have more companies.
Of course.
Yeah, the companies are there and we talk to them. Like right now, I'm mobilizing resources for grassroots football. That's the theme for my campaign, mobilizing resources for grassroots football. Okay. Right now, I've had almost 18 companies donating footballs to me that are going all over the regions.
Have you distributed them?
I haven't yet distributed them. They're coming. I need to put them in a container. The donations have been overwhelming.
Footballs
and football kits.
Oh,
football kits, equipment, nets, and all these things. They're coming.
Talking about that donation, why do you think, as a nation, we are failing? Because I'll use the word failing. We are failing to capacitate our stadiums to the requirements of CAF and FIFA, which is simply the changing rooms and the bucket seats. And how are you going to address that?
Well, honestly, we've been sleeping on the job. And I'll say we, because we are all accountable for lack of progress in the country. We have a duty to play. For me, like I said to you, I've identified partners. I have two companies. One is an Egyptian-based company that built the Olympic city, the All Africa Games city in Egypt. And one is also a South African company, and I'm happy to engage local partners if they're there. So what we need is a company that comes with specialized engineers in sports infrastructure. They do a feasibility study of where we lack, cost it, and then we go and look for the money to rehabilitate it. We speak with government. We engage all the key stakeholders. For now, we're just focusing on National Sports Stadium. It's good, but it's not good enough. So we need to do a thorough analysis, an impact analysis of our deficit in sports infrastructure. Where are the social clubs? Where are places where people can play? We don't have this. I think we have a dearth of sports infrastructure in this country. So we need a strategy to bring professionals that have operated in other countries and developed infrastructure to come and do a thorough due diligence for us, come up with a plan, and then we come up with a funding model of how we can fund these infrastructures across the country. Forget about Harare alone. We need infrastructure in Cholocho. We need infrastructure in Binga. We need infrastructure in Gutu. Everywhere. We must, at least in one province, we must have a good state.
Whose role is it to put those infrastructures?
Well,
is it not the government?
Well, the Football Association also have a duty to play in setting the agenda. We have access to FIFA development funds. Zimbabwe, I was looking at FIFA records. For the last 10 years or so, we have not been able to claim our FIFA development finance. Why?
What happens to that money if you don't claim it?
It goes to other countries that claim it.
Okay.
Yeah, even countries like Botswana, Somalia, have been able to submit bankable projects and they have had developments in their country. But we haven't.
What is the problem? Why do you think we are not able to submit, to claim it? Is it because we are not good with accountability? So when the paperwork is required, we are not able to produce paperwork that can make us access that money?
Also lack of initiative. Just focusing on the little money that trickles in and not having a vision that we can actually sit down. We have a lot of professionals here, get even external people to write bankable projects for us that can help to develop. By now, we should be having our own national football school of excellence, like St. George's they have in the UK, like Clairefontaine they have in France. We should be having it by now, at least one institution where we can develop our best footballers. And that we can do it. Morocco did it. Egypt recently completed that. And with support from FIFA funding and some money coming from government.
Talking about developing our footballers, you work with those diaspora-based Zimbabwean soccer players, right? To incorporate them into the national team. Tell me how you work. How does it work? What is it called, the initiative?
Well, the initiative, we call it the Diaspora Scouting Development Program.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I emphasize on saying it's a development program because I believe some of these players, once they finish playing football, they will also support to develop grassroots football. And we've already seen it, the likes of Tendai Darikwa coming in and donating things. Recently, Jordan Zemura, who is a product of that program again. Yeah, he started his own foundation. He's already investing into grassroots football development. What we do is that we engage with the players. We speak with them and speak with their parents. We sell the vision of Zimbabwe to them. And we also tell them that there are higher chances that they become international players if they consider Zimbabwe than England. We know that there are certain biases in the UK against black and ethnic minority players, which still exist. So we sell our vision about our country. They also know that Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. The parents reside from here. So we sell the vision to them. And then when they agree, we then speak with the embassy. And then we arrange for appointments to go and start the process of applying for their passports. And then the passport applications will come here and they are processed. So it's a process that works very well, that includes government, that includes us as Team Zimbabwe UK as a voluntary organization, and also the community where the parents are. We also respect their parents' decision, so we speak with them and work together. And fortunately, we've been very successful. Currently, I think we have about 6 or 7 players in the current national team. And over the years...
Can you name a few?
Yeah, Tawanda Chirewa, who's now with Derby, but formerly of Wolves. Brendan Galloway, Plymouth, Argyle. Jordan Zemura Udinese is there. Tawanda Maswanise, formerly of Leicester, but now with Motherwell. He's also in the team. Mali Tavaziwa, Brentford, third choice goalkeeper. He's also in the team. The list is endless.
Okay. Now, yeah, you're a man on the ground with your hands on the deck. Premier League side. We've been talking about the national team, but Premier League side, what I want to know is, what is your strategy in harmonizing the Premier League so that it produces the intended results, so that we can be seen as competitive enough to challenge leagues like South Africa? Because we've been exporting players to South Africa, which means South Africa is more attractive than us.
Yep.
You, as somebody who has been in the diaspora for a long time, what is your strategy when it comes to addressing the competitiveness of our Premier Soccer League?
Thank you very much, Vinny. What we need, first of all, is we need to support our clubs so that they can become viable. By viable, meaning that they're able to pay their players on time, they're able to provide the right facilities for the players to train, and also they're able to provide the right facilities for the players to play. The Premier League is able to support the clubs to have the right facility to play our football. Secondly, we need to support the Premier League to engage the fans so that we bring back the fans in the stadiums.
How do you support them?
Well, we come up with fun engagement programs. We sit down, we strategize how
Which
we
is
can
money,
market.
right? It involves
But
money.
it's ideas as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not all up to cost. It's ideas, and I believe that it's ideas, also good ideas, can also bring development. So we engage them to get the funds back. Right now, we are competing with the English football, which is really, really defeating us. People would opt to go and watch English football in pubs and bars and buy expensive English football regalia at the expense that most of our
of this one. Eh?
exactly most of our teams don't have regalias on sale. So we need to support the Premier League to resource our football clubs. Resource them not only with sponsorship, but resource them with knowledge resources as well. We need to have capacity building workshops to train the club administrators how to run viable football clubs. We need to make training easy to access for our football clubs, even for our coaches. Right now, it's expensive for coaches to do the CAF badges. We need to find the finance to allow our local coaches to be trained and have the expertise. That's another area where we are lacking. And these are the areas that we need to focus. We need to ensure that things like diet and embedding science into football, it all comes into play. I think we can build a strong league that can compete with South Africa, but we just have to put all our minds and all our resources in it, get the corporates to also support the Premier League. It's critically important.
Interesting. You are raising an important question. You're a businessman outside being an administrator, right?
Yes, I am.
The challenge that I have seen with positions like what you are vying for, the ZIFA presidency, is that when somebody comes with nothing, they want to take from the position. So you as Marshall Gore, what business are you running currently on your personal capacity, if you are free to share that?
Yeah, I am very much free to share that. Currently, I have a few projects that I'm running. I'm involved with Grip Active Sports, a sportswear manufacturing company, which I joined 2 years ago as one of the partners. I also have my consultants company, which I work with another partner called Horizon Care Solutions. It's a UK-based commissioning company into healthcare.
Okay.
We work with the National Health Service and the local authorities. They are our main customers. I'm also doing a little bit of farming in Goromonzi, in a family farm, in cattle farming
busy man, eh?
at the moment. So those are the few things that I'm doing at the moment.
So which means we won't have issues of misappropriation of funds, eh? Because you've got your resources and you're a very busy man.
It's not necessarily about that. Even without money, integrity should always be a priority. So I don't think that your financial status should compromise your integrity. I have a clean track record. For the past 25 years, I've been involved in football from grassroots level up to a higher stage. I have not been involved in any embezzlement of finances.
Which is what we need in Zimbabwe currently.
Finances, yeah. So
yes.
I'm focused, determined, and I believe I'm an honest guy, and I love the game, and I'll make sure that I'll bring more impact to it and make everyone happy, see the transformation.
Okay, Marshall. What do you think is our strength and weakness as a soccer nation? I have listened to you talk, but for you now to assume that position, I assume also that you have taken time to assess our strengths and weaknesses as a soccer nation.
Yep, true. I've done that. I think at the moment, our weakness is too much expectation at the detriment of our own progress. We hype ourselves a lot, and we think we are this when we are not. The results against Lesotho in South Africa was a key measure of self-reflection to say, where are we with our football? I think recently I watched the interview of the new coach, Michael Nice, actually unpacking.
What do you think? What do you think of the new coach? You'll come back to your point.
Well, I think let me finish my point and then I can talk about it. I think he touched a lot of things that our problem is that we have not invested in football.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, from government, from private sector, from the administrators itself, we have not done much. So we need to prioritize football. I also urge the people above to ensure that we should fight for sport to have a fair share of the market. I traveled to Paris to support the Zimbabwe Olympic team. I think we had about 7 athletes at the Olympics. Again, more can be done to support those athletes. And I'm not saying it's a government responsibility alone, but we need to take inclusive accountability. We need to also entice the private sector to come in. So lack of resource is also our biggest challenge. When you don't have the resources, you cannot have good football pitches. When you don't have good football pitches, you cannot provide good footballers. When you have very few pitches, it puts people from playing football. We lose talent as well. We are not accounting for our talent. You see very brilliant kids playing football at primary school. They go to secondary school, no one keeps a record of them. You know, we should be able to do talent identification programs across all the provinces. Solid. The moment we see a gem, we should take it away from there, put it into an academy, national academy, where the school fees is paid and they're looked after from nutrition and developed into pro players. We can turn it around. You know, it doesn't. Every year, if we can identify our best top 100 footballers in the country and put them on the same program, we can produce that. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's only ideas that we need. Talent identification program, talent nurturing, and support infrastructure around football development. Who keeps a record? Do we have junior football tournaments now where we can actually see and measure our progress? We need to standardize this. We need to have data. We need to collect data about how many players do we have playing football in our leagues, in schools. You know, how many do we have? How many can we take? How can we develop? Are we producing players? How many players came from grassroots football into the national team? So we need to do all these matrices and come up with a solid recommendation program on all these things. That's what we need to do.
Okay, cool. You're raising an issue of grassroots and academies. Are you running an academy or are you associated with a certain academy?
Yeah, I'm associated with an academy, with our academy called Power 11 Academy.
Power 11.
It's based in Rua. But what we have started now, it's been flourishing. I think in the last 6 years, we've managed to take about 7 footballers on scholarships across the world. So now we are rolling out a new program of expanding the academy. We've recently set up another satellite project in Chegutu, and we are also setting up another one in Harare at Alex Sports Club. So our plan is to expand Power 11 Academy across all the other provinces and create opportunity. The same opportunities we've created for the Rua best players is the same opportunity that we want to create across the country. And I'll tell you quickly, for example, in Rua, we work with Runyararo Primary School. We have a good working relationship with them. We've partnered with the school to develop the pitch into a state-of-the-art pitch so that our female team can use it. Yeah. So these are, again, public and private partnerships that can bring in to develop our football. That's another remedy that we can use. Get the private sector, public, and other partnerships to come together.
Okay, interesting. You're raising another important point that I wanted to highlight. Women in football, it's becoming serious. Women are taking football serious. The world is taking women serious. What is your perspective when it comes to women in football, and what are you going to do, or what are you currently doing about women football?
I have a vision to transform women's football in Zimbabwe. I think I was so delighted that we've set up now a women Premier Soccer League. I've spoken with the chairman or the president of the league. I'm due to have a meeting with her to extend my support to them with our company, Grip Active Sports, and also to support, to use my network to get more resources for them. I believe that every Premier League soccer team should have a sister women's club, and I believe that we should have a national program of developing women's soccer. I believe that women's soccer should be introduced at primary school and secondary school. It should take precedence. The global agenda now is to support, and FIFA is also availing resources for associations and for clubs that are developing women's football. I work also with another club called Maningi FC. I'm one of their patrons. I've been working, supporting them to raise resources to improve the opportunities for the girl child. I have a passion for women's football, and I believe that I'll bring a lot much difference to what we are seeing now.
Excellent. You seem to be a man on a mission indeed, without a doubt. But there is an issue that has never been attended to by ZIFA as an association, and they seem to sweep it under the carpet every time. There's an issue of ZIFA owing coaches, especially local coaches, monies,
Not money. Monies. I'm talking about monies. Thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands. How are you going to address that? Because every coach, local coach, mostly, if not all the coaches that have coached the national team have an issue with payment with the association. How are you going to address that? And even the ones that are being owed, how are you going to make them happy?
Okay, first of all, I'll answer the first question. My vision is to transform the national team also into a business. So the national team should have replicas that will go and sell at every given chance in all four corners of the country. The national team will be a brand that will attract a lot more sponsors, like we had during the Reinhard Fabisch era. At this moment in time, we don't have many sponsors. I think quite recently, thank you to Better Brands, they came in to support with sponsoring the Puma kit deal. But I think my mission would be to ensure that I get development partners that comes in to support. Okay. But I also make sure that we leverage from all the resources that we have within. That is ensuring that we market the national team kit, is put on the market and is sold. There's a structure for it. I also think that government are key when it comes to the national team. In many countries, the national team thrives also with government support. And our government has supported the national team. If you recall, in the other previous administration, the other bone of contention was to do with finances that were given to the association to support the national team by government that were not accounted for. So also, I will build a good relationship with government as far as the national team is concerned. But I can guarantee you that I will ensure that my national team coach is paid. I'm able to even talk to the private sector to get a partner. The confidence I'll bring is what will allow that to happen. And even if we manage the resources that come in from FIFA and from CAF, I think we can. It can be sustainable. We just need to manage our resources equitably and use them with good financial acumen. I think we can be successful.
Random and urgent issues that you'll address. Should you be elected the ZIFA president that you think the current administration is not addressing? Three random areas, yes.
Grassroots football development programs, grassroots funding, talent identification across all the countries. That is critical. Football thrives on a generation of newly recruited players every year. Right now, if I ask you that when this national team...
You said grassroots one?
Grassroots football.
Grassroots football. But grassroots football, it's already here, right?
No.
It
needs to be structured.
Okay.
It's not
you're
structured.
Saying there's no structure?
Yeah, it's not structured. Even the academies themselves, they need to form a strong association. And they need to have representation in Congress as well. Because they are key partakers.
Grassroots? We are attending to the grassroots
infrastructure. Infrastructure. Starting from primary school football pitches, secondary school football pitches. I want to ensure that in every province, there's at least a pitch that qualifies to
That's
host.
Number two?
Number two, yeah. Yeah. Number three, player insurances.
Okay,
we need to protect our players.
Infrastructure and player insurance.
We need to protect our players.
How do we protect our players?
Well, they must have mandatory insurances.
Are you saying there are no insurances currently?
I don't know if there are, but I've not heard of any. I speak with players. Sometimes when they get injured, you see messages on Facebook that they need support. But I'll make sure that all the players that play, especially in our professional women and men's league, that they have insurances. Because it's important to protect the welfare of our players. They are the custodians of the game, the players and the fans. They need to be protected. So the players' insurance would be mandatory.
How's your relationship with SCR and the government, the minister, the mother ministry?
Well, I have a good relationship with SRC. I'm actually due to meet the Director General, I think, sometime this week to talk about the program that I've mentioned, the Grassroots Football Development Program. I have a relationship with the Minister of Sports, Kirsty. I've met with her several times. We've exchanged ideas on how to improve the situation with our stadiums. I've also worked to harness development partners that I've introduced to the ministry itself to support with our infrastructure development, which is another hurdle which I wanted to add, that the other issue we have now is to sort out the infrastructure issues. Forget about the National Sports Stadium. We need to get Chibuku Stadium. We need to go back to Gonzra Stadium, talk to the local councils, revive Gonzra Stadium, go to Rudaka in Marondera, and also transform it. We have development partners. There will be payment plans, but we need to, our football has suffered enough. We need a plan, and the plan is there. We'll bring the architecture that will look at all the stadium infrastructure, that will look at the entire football. We will have a proper we'll have a proper SWOT analysis of our football that will look at our strength, our weaknesses, and the opportunities where we can get quick wins. We'll put that in place, and it's doable. Obviously, I need to have a good team. And that's what I'm also going to make sure that I have a good team that can support. It's not a one-man's vision, but it's a vision that includes everyone that is going to be part of that team.
Are you free to talk about Grip Active?
Yeah, I can talk about them.
By the way, I'm proudly dressed by Grip Active.
He is the boss of Grip Active. Tell us more about Grip Active.
Grip Active is sports wear and equipment manufacturing company. It was formed in 2016. It's based in the UK, but like many sportswear companies now, we have our manufacturing hub in Asia. I joined them 2 years ago as a partner working specifically for the African market. So I'm the representative of Grip Active and also a shareholder, focusing mainly on the African market. We have our footprint in the UK, in Belgium, and in France. Currently, to date, we're supplying sportswear and equipment to 65 sports clubs in Europe.
In Europe.
Yeah.
So are we here in Zimbabwe?
Here in Zimbabwe, we're trying to make inroads. So we're in the process of talking to teams to see how we can make progress. So I strongly feel that there's potential to harness the market here as well. But our vision is to actually bring our manufacturing plant here in Zimbabwe so that we cut cost on duty of importations of equipment. So that's where my vision is at this moment in time.
All I can say is all the best and good luck in your campaign and your business ventures. Marshall Gore.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking to the legend in the making, Marshall Gore. And he's vying for the ZIFA presidency. And we will talk to him again next year after the elections. Until next time, Vinny, cheers.
Thank you, Vinny.